And we've got this end cap here with a Captain Marvel stuff since her flick is newly out, and it makes a pretty easy way for people who come in and go like, I love that movie. Where do I start? And we can go here. And so yeah, a lot of like volume ones and like this volume here is like a new like retelling of like all of her origin stuff, so that it's like bone easy to like figure out her whole deal like in terms of the comics. And this long rack here is basically where we put everything else that kind of doesn't fit with the big publishers or isn't a media thing. Like kind of everything else goes here, including some of the Marvel stuff, just because they put out so many darn books. Yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff here, but let's see. Yeah, I was telling you guys about Paper Girls, which remains one of my favorites, and is starting on its like sort of last arc here soon. Yeah, just gorgeous stuff from Cliff Chang on the art. Really like good simple colors and yeah, like funny but like not like overtly goofy dialogue, and just like a cool story about youngsters in a situation they're super not prepared for, but they're dealing, right? One of my favorites still. This book, Octopus Pie, is so good. There's like this long-running webcomic by Meredith Gran. She's like super, super cool, and teaches comics at a college, I believe. But yeah, I read the hell out of this in high school, and I kind of fell off, and should get back one of these days now that Image is putting them out in these like cool collections. Frankly, it probably relate to me. Well, I probably relate to it a lot more now than I did back then. I'm AJ Kozlowski, and I'm like the manager here at Time Warp. I've been shopping here since around 2010 when I started going to see you kind of irregularly. I started working here a few years ago, and yeah, still here. It's my favorite place in Boulder, so happy to be here. What draws me to comics in particular is that I think it's a medium suited to really doing anything with. Sort of confined to like a budget in the same way that a lot of other mediums can. You've got an opportunity to tell stories with art and language, and sort of the timing inherent with like paneling. You can lose dialogue, and that has its own effect in a comic, and you can tell massive crazy sci-fi stories, and you can do journal comics, and it all works, and it's all totally within the realm of possibility. And as long as someone's willing and able to do the art, between that and your space operas and your capes and your weird indie stuff, like you can just make anything happen. I was reading comics online when I was like a kid, free to do whatever on the internet, right? Then I just I stumbled upon them, and I'd keep reading newspaper comics, and like got into manga like when I was a little bit older, and when I was a teenager I was reading like Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and Watchmen and Scott Pilgrim and stuff. So yeah, even in periods where I like couldn't really afford to buy many comics, I'd still get them one way or another. I feel like they've always been there. When I first started working here, I hadn't read Saga yet, which is a huge book, and it's like our best-selling. The first volume's like our best-selling trade paperback year after year. Having not read that, my coworker was like, "Oh my gosh!" and he lumped the first few volumes in front of me and said, "Like, go for it." And I'm better for it, and I think for me that's something that print comics are always gonna have. If you go through the effort of like handing someone something, that feels more meaningful, right? Sending someone a playlist versus going through the effort of making them like a mixtape or something.